Hello and welcome to Mindful Mondays. Today we're going to talk about how to deal with distraction during prayer. Have you ever been distracted during prayer? Like maybe you're trying to focus on God, but you're remembering that chore that you meant to get done and didn't, and you're mentally editing your grocery list, and you're remembering a conversation with a coworker that really is still annoying you, and you noticed that you're past due to dust the furniture in the room you're sitting in, and you're hearing the neighbor's lawnmower or snowblower or leaf blower or their darn barking dog or your kid's music just down the hall, and you just can't shut it out. Or maybe your distraction has been sleepiness. You're trying to be faithful to some time with Jesus, but you can't stop nodding, and then you feel distracted because you're condemned for the nodding. Like, what kind of terrible person is falling asleep during prayer? And so then you're thinking more about what a terrible person you are rather than thinking about what you want to say to God, or, listening for what God might be saying to you. Have you ever experienced that? Nah, me neither. I can pray for hours, completely undistracted. Episode over. See you next week. Just kidding. I think anyone who's honest will admit that they are distracted during prayer at least some of the time. So what can we do about it? I have a few ideas that, maybe might help you with it. First, be a realist. Distraction is going to happen. God is not surprised by it, so you don't need to be either. Secondly, extend mercy to yourself. If you are with your child or with your sweetheart and they want to be near you and then they just fall asleep in your arms, you're not mad, right? Like sleepy snuggles are the best. It's just nice that they're near. Or if your niece or your grandson wants to be with you, but they're also a little bundle of distractions and, words about 75 different things, you don't hate it, right? It's endearing. Too often we think God is like our grumpiest, grouchiest, most demanding selves, and we assume God is frustrated with our shortcomings. But God knows our shortcomings and has gone to great lengths to make it possible for us to be with Him. So just relax into that tenderness a little bit. 3, keep a pencil and paper near you so that when those thoughts about the bill you didn't get paid come up, you can just stop and write it down, and then your brain can stop obsessing about it and you will not be distracted by that. 4th, maybe your distraction is remembering porn that you watched. That's the kind of thing that likes to materialize during prayers, and that's a bigger problem among both men and women than most people will admit. So if that comes up, here's what I would say. Write down Philippians 4:8. Write it down on a little piece of paper. Keep it with you. And when those kind of thoughts come up, you're just going to speak that scripture right back at them. And best if you can do it aloud. So you say, I will fix my thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely, and I will keep thinking about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Say it several times if you need to. Very helpful with bringing your brain back from the kind of distracting thoughts that can be pretty shameful. Or alternatively, just stop. Just stop and point out that distraction to God. Just tell Him directly. Say it to God, say it to yourself, say what's on your mind, be annoyed, laugh it off, whatever. Sometimes just admitting it is the best way to being able to let it go. Sometimes holding a physical object will help you to focus. When I worked in a school, I had all sorts of little objects kids had given me, like bracelets they had made and bookmarks and that kind of thing. And I kept them in a basket, and so that when I prayed for them, I would pick up each item and pray for the one who gave it to me. And it really helped to focus my prayers prayers and keep me from being distracted. I also had photos that kids had given me of themselves, and I just tucked them into my Bible so that when I was flipping through while I was praying, there was their face, and I could hold that photo and focus on that face and pray for that person in a really direct way. And I also have a mason jar of stones with things written on them in Sharpie, and I have been known over the years to pull those stones out of there and hold the stone while I'm praying over that thing. And sometimes just the holding of a physical object can really help if you have that available to you. Most importantly, I would just say, don't give up. The way we grow in any discipline is practice, right? So when you get distracted, stop and start over if you need to. Change positions and try again. Maybe that'll help. If you're being still, maybe get up and move. Maybe that'll help. And as you press in and continue to pray despite the resistance, I have found that God honors that over time. So that's your note for Mindful Mondays. Go out mindfully and don't let the distractions win. Be practical, be patient, be merciful with yourself, and just don't quit. I will see you next week.